Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Life in Drawing podcast. This is podcast episode number 45. So, in this episode, we're going to talk about how much is too much. Excuse me. And I think we got a previous episode that may closely correlate with this topic, but it's different. I think the other episode was, I think, a certain amount of money or whatever. Like, if you know would a certain amount of money be enough? But this is more about, I think, the mindset of too much. And so yeah, here we go. Now, typically, it's usually just a random sketch, a blank page. But I figure for the next few minutes, I should put the timer on. This is the 45th episode, and I'm still forgetting to put my timer on. And so yeah. But anyway, it should be more organic way. I don't have to worry about that, but it just keeps me on track. So, but anyway, it's usually a random sketch. But I figured this is an episode that I am working on to release. And while I'm doing this podcast episode, I might as well go ahead with finishing this off. So here we go. So yeah. So first question, or first point on the topic of how much is too much. I remember growing up, not having much, and also being very aware of that fact, um, and and I wasn't teased, or aware if anyone was teasing. Um, uh, for whatever reason, even before I blew up in size, particularly in high school, I was just not one who was messed with. you know, Thankfully, I guess, because I had a temper. So that perhaps was certainly blessings of Yahweh. Um, but yeah, I so I'm trying to figure out why this is coming out as gray and not black. Um, oh, because I'm on the sketch icon. I'm telling you, man, I'm not in it for whatever reason. Yeah, there you go. Um, so, but yeah, so I was never teased, but I was aware because I had friends and then acquaintances, whether from school, and I mostly saw it actually in in church, because each Sunday morning, uh, uh, there's you have an outfit. Some folks, oh wow, they have this outfit, or they have that outfit, or even like going to camp. One time we went to um, summer camp, summer Christian camp, and and there you would see it as well. So you're like, oh wow, this person have this many outfits of this particular brand. So even to this day, I can recall seeing that, you know. But thankfully, um, my, you know, I can credit my folks and perhaps just my personality as well. I never got caught up in that, you know. So my mother has passed. It's been 2 years now. Um, my dad is somewhere in Haiti. Uh, so at any point in time, someone can ask them, "Hey, was Michelle ever, wanting extra stuff?" And unequivocally, they would say no. And like I said, to this point, I don't know why, because I saw the new clothing, the brand clothing of my other peers, and yes, I was intrigued and and um and envious of wow, that must be cool to have access to that. And yeah, but I never went home and said, "Hey, mom, dad, I want to have, the new Land belt or the new Tommy Hilfiger shirt, or why do I only have one pair of long sleeve shirts to wear and one pair of slacks and one pair of shoes?" I don't know if that's just an experience as an immigrant child um, in a foreign country. Which I guess that goes hand in hand. I mean, you can't be an immigrant in a non-foreign country. Sorry, that was a what do they call those? Double negative, double positive, whatever. So yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if man, I can't draw a straight line to save my life. I don't know if that played a part in just my mindset of, hey man, it is what it is. That's cool and all. But yeah. So yeah. So yeah, perhaps Um, but I know my parents never chased after like, oh, this neighbor has this and this, and they have a bigger house or they have this car, and so I, so perhaps it was also their example of, hey, we have what we have, and we're gonna live with what we have. So I don't, it very well could have been that. Um, but yeah. So I was fully aware of not having much, and of those who did. And for whatever reason, I just never became fixated on that fact. But it is a real thing, you know. Um, but honestly, in my opinion, that was a blessing in disguise. And usually, we don't see certain, and I guess I'll put a caveat in here, just from a human point of view. Usually, and the caveat is non-tragic. And by example, I want to say if someone was molested as a kid, physically abused, even like non-sexually, just just beaten upon and stuff like that. Um, like even in those very severe tragic experiences, there can be an immense turnaround and growth and development for those individuals. And then sometimes tragically it's not the case, and you know, it's really all God's grace of just how some of those situations end up. So that's the caveat. Exception. But as far as just tough trials, it's usually a blessing in disguise, but we don't see it. We don't see it that way. And it's definitely hard to see it that way when you are going through it. And so, excuse me. But it was even to this day. Like I made the example of one pair, and that was the fact. Sunday, in the Car. I mean, I think it's universal, but in the Caribbean, but your Sunday clothes, and so those are clothes you only wore for Sunday. And I guess perhaps if you worked more in a business atmosphere, I guess you could wear the same type of clothing, you're wearing a suit and stuff like that. And again, this is back in the 80s, so wasn't around a contemporary time with shorts and flip-flops nowadays. So yeah, but it was as much as it was, I was very self-aware that, I wore this shirt last week. It's the same outfit. There's nothing really different. It came and went. The feeling of, oh wow, yeah, so yeah, still wearing the same outfit. But but it was so simpler though. At the same time, this is where the blessing in the sky comes from. Where, yeah, man, I had the same shirt, but getting ready was easy as heck. It's like, what I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna wear the gray shirt and the black pants and the black pair of shoes. Bam. What am I wearing this morning? Gray shirt and the black pants. Bam. 3 weeks later, what I'm gonna wear? Black pants and gray shirt, black shoes. Just change up the order in which you put them on. But it was so much simpler. And man, let me tell you, when I got the other pair of shirt and the brown pair of slacks, that changed the game. Because now I can alternate. And so, and that's what I did, and that's what I favored as well. I was like, man, I want clothing that are interchangeable. And by that, I just mean, you have a blue shirt, a blue shirt, blouse, and a very neutral patterned shirt where there's white and black, or a blend of earth tones, not gray, but tan, and I guess gray, but just very neutral colors that can go easily with a lot of baseline colors, black, brown, white, stuff like that. Very interchangeable. Those are kind of shirts I really like because I could wear that same shirt 2 or 3 times in a month. And if I have two different color slacks, then there you go. It's two different outfits. And that's what I would do. So I had a blue shirt, black pants, and I had a tan pants. Then, 1 week it'll be blue shirt, black pants, and then blue shirt, tan pants. And that's where I interchanged, and so that's what I did, and and it was still easy then too because it was just two different shirts, but it still added a level of variety, with just two different shirts. And so and then soon after getting up, and that was more like middle school, or back in the Commonwealth Bahamas days of communication. It was more like primary school and 6th, 7th grade. Excuse me. But then, getting into my senior years, and older sisters buying clothing, coming back home from school in the U.S. Had just had more clothing, and then of course when I started working, that changed the game as well because I was like, now I can buy the clothes that I want, and I must say, yes, it was nice being able to wear. Get a swig. It was nice being able to wear just a variety of different clothing, and particularly stuff that I wanted. Now I gotta say that carefully because everything I got as a gift, for whatever reason, was on point. Like I never. There was only a few times when I got a gift, and it always seemed it wasn't from, like my sisters knew, like they knew, okay, they knew my style, they knew my taste, and so whatever they got me was, I want to say, like 95% of the time on point. I mean, it was never like, what's this, So, we grew up together, and they saw my style, or my preference, I should say. So that was cool. So I just want to point that out by saying I was able to get what I want. I think it's just more so I was able to get as much clothing as I wanted, or at least as I thought I needed. And so, but I must say though, having going back to the times when I didn't have much, it was so simpler. It wasn't chaotic. There was no pressure. But now having so much, it took me longer to get ready. And back then, when I was still living at home, I would always, the night before, plot out what I'm gonna wear. How much is too much? um, and years before that, I didn't even need how to do that. I knew it, I knew what I was gonna wear. It's the same thing I wore last week, Sunday, you know, or just a different combination when it came to the point where I had two shirts, and so, but yeah, but just having those other options, um, just lend itself to having to make so many more decisions. Now I have, you know, 10, 12 shirts that are just for Sunday. These just dress shirts and variations, short sleeve, long sleeve, different colors, blues, blue theme, grays, tans, mixtures, whatever, different materials, you know. And like I said again, it's not like it's the full wardrobe. It's just the options for church wear, um, and then slacks. So it's not just black and brown or tan. It's black. It's a different shade of black, charcoal, gray, light gray, tan, dark tan, light tan. Just green. I think I had green at one point. Songs off, but it was a cool green. It was I don't know, whatever. Shoes to this day, I've always kept it simple. I've always managed to for my shoe. I just was never a big shoe guy. It was just always what's required for the situation. Is this an athletic scenario that I'm in? Then I wear my athletic tennis shoes. You know, um, again, if it's a church or formal event, then I wear my formal shoes. Which were either black or brown. And to this day, that's what it is. Now I have some other shoes as far as dress shoes, as we refer to it as, and then like casual, those like Skechers brand type shoes. But it's still, I must say, I have more like tennis shoes, more workout shoes. I should say more athletic shoes now than I did before. But it's still a practical thing. It's like, okay, these are shoes that if I go jogging, then I'm going to wear these for that. My work shoes are just for work. My yard shoes, it's just for yard work. So I have one pair of basketball shoes, and of course I'm a soccer guy, so I have two pair of soccer shoes, outdoor and indoor. So everything is very practically based. It's not like I have, um, 20 pairs of Jordans, 20 pairs of Nikes, different colorways and all that stuff. I'm like, nah, that was never me. So, thankfully, so, and those who do, no hate, not, nothing like that. So, man, I've been on this point for for the longest time, but just cool. I like how I'm like persuading myself on my own podcast, on my own notes. It's okay. It's you can go longer on that point, Michelo. It's fine. I'm a silly. Oh wow! See, there you go, man. That was 23 minutes on just one point. How much is too much? So So yeah, I'll continue. So yeah, so and again, this just my opinion, and I'm sure we've had families or we've seen shows where you have the hoarders and stuff like that, and 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 that's I feel that's what tends to happen. The more stuff you have, I mean, you just accumulate more stuff, and I'm sure there's some biological thing that may be going on that that just propel us to want to have more, and and maybe it releases this feeling of the need to have more, and I don't know if that's based in security, or what, but um, yeah, but we just we tend to, the more stuff we accumulate just adds to us having more stuff. Um, so instead of the opposite of, oh wow, that's enough, is usually I need more. Like is there any way that I can have even more? And so then it's a never-ending cycle um, of wow, just accumulating more and more and more and more and more, and so uh, um, and in my opinion, that's where it becomes too much. It's uh, just one thing after the next. You know, um, it's just feeding that monster of, yeah, man. Just you can just keep keep having as much as you want, um, and it becomes insatiable, and before you know it, you're growling. Ah, I want more. I need more. Um, yeah, it's just our human nature, man. We more we get, more we want. The more we believe we deserve, and so we continue in that same vein. And it just increases. I am on the struggle bus with drawing these lines. Um, yeah, and then it's just like, well, where do we go from here? You know, um, and that's a very good question. I I do not know, but something has to give. You know, uh, and that's why even with my two boys, I'm just like, that's enough toys. When someone like they want, I'm like, nah, they don't need any more toys. Um, you know, our kids are always gonna have more than what we have. Um, but I actually purpose to not spoil or overindulge. Because I saw it with our firstborn, and granted, our firstborn personalities are so different. Um, but just having just a few handful of toys, it was like, okay, I'm gonna go from this truck to these blocks and to whatever else. And then the more toys we got, more folks, oh, hey, here's this. This is for, my, whatever, and then it was like, oh, wow. So there's truck, blocks, Legos, another truck, oh, plane, car. And so it's just like, so you see this manifestation happening right before your eyes. And I was just like, yeah, I've seen this movie before. Um, uh, and I don't particularly uh, want it. I don't want it for my kids. Because it is a learned behavior. Some may want to doubt it, but it is a learned behavior, and you can control that. And so yeah, so too much clothing, too much toys, whatever, just too many options. You know, can be a curse in disguise, as opposed to the blessing in disguise of not having as much. And so yeah, man, I'm struggling with these perspective lines. I should have just gone over with what I had sketched, but they just felt bigger. So how much is too much? Too much is too much, in my opinion. And if again, if we're completely honest and transparent, I think we all would agree that too much is too much. And when we had simpler times, fewer options. And again, another caveat, fewer options as far as just to consume, not fewer options as far as opportunity to grow and stuff like that, but just, fewer consuming options of just stuff. It's not like schooling, you have a few options of classes, but now you have, foreign languages and arts and sciences. So not that, that's those extra options better the person, the extra consuming options, it's just for us to be entertained and whatever, feel good, and feeling good is not bad. So, but you can take the feeling good to a whole nother level, which can be bad and detrimental to your health and well-being. So too much is too much. And so let's, let's think of the times when we didn't have much. How were those times? Can you recall those times when, you just, you had the right amount of what you needed, and that was it. This line doesn't make any sense. And drawing a back wall, and that wouldn't work. Sorry for that commentary, but anyone who's paying more close attention to what I'm drawing and what I'm saying, that one was for you. So thank you guys for listening to episode 45. How much is too much? Too much is too much. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to 23 of the first minutes of just my childhood wardrobe. But yeah, man, my parents were great with instilling, what's the word I'm looking for? Contentment And so, and I'm sure via osmosis it just seeped into as well. Um, Maybe that I'm getting into a topic where I think it'd be a separate topic as far as being an immigrant. That can go on for several episodes. But for this episode, thank you guys for taking the time to watch and getting a sneak peek of janitorial services. Episode 58. Coming when? Who knows? Coming soon. It's kind of harder to focus on. It's easier when I'm just doing a sketch and it doesn't matter where it goes. But it's harder. I think this is the second time I've done this where I've actually worked on a comic script while I was doing this, recording a podcast. Because usually when I'm drawing episode, I'm all in. I could be listening to music or whatever else, maybe a podcast, but I'm like focused. I'm not talking. I'm not engaging my both facilities of my mind of recalling history as I'm talking, and then I'm drawing too as well and engaging and trying to make sure. So I don't know how often I'm gonna do that. Because it can go one of two ways. If I'm engaging more with the conversation topics, what I'm trying to illustrate will take a hit, and if I focus more on the drawing, the conversation, just like now, conversation is going to take a hit, and so I want to strike that balance, and so yeah. So thanks for watching. See, I started to get, just even giving that example, I started to get focused on, okay, how do I want to position this, so there you go, case in point. So thanks for watching. Appreciate your time. Be sure to share the video link. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't subscribed. That would be huge. I think I'm up to 5 subscribers, and let's get that to 10 subscribers. You can follow my content on Facebook as well, facebook.com/Michelot Comics. You can also find me on Instagram as well. You can see my postings there. I can't really post video. I shouldn't say I can't. I gotta dig deeper, because I know there's a limit. I think there's a 1 minute or 2 minute limit. So even my speed videos aren't able to upload. And anyway, I won't get into the minutia with all of that. So, but Instagram.com, Instagram. Also, you can find me on my website, which is michelolully.com, and that's where you have all the archive of all my content. So even the podcast as well. If you want to support what I do, and I would appreciate that support, you can go to my Patreon page, which is patreon.com/MichelotLully. There you can support what I do, and I would appreciate that as well. So thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a great time, a great evening, afternoon, morning, night. Grace and peace.